Hi, I'm James Glass with James Glass Company, and in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about Ride Solutions Red Rack program. The Red Rack program is a free bicycle rack program. You can contact Ride Solutions, Jeremy Holmes or Tyler Godsey at ridesolutions.org, and you can go on their website and download an application to apply for a free bicycle rack from them. And the first run of racks I was commissioned to do 15 of them, and so those 15 racks are going to be distributed throughout the Roanoke and New River valleys. And this little video is about the making of the red racks. And so the cool thing is almost all the materials in the red rack are reclaimed. This particular Schedule 40 is 1.25 inch, and it used to be industrial shelving. And I bent it on my hydraulic pipe bender to make these 90s, and I cut them all to height, obviously. This angle iron, I don't know what it was in the previous life. It might have been shelf brackets, it might have been something. But anyway, I reclaimed it, and it's going to be the feet for the red racks. And then finally, there'll be some angle iron that runs across here, and you'll see that later in the video, that holds a sign promoting Ride Solutions. So it's a pretty neat little program. You can get a free bicycle rack. The bicycle racks are made out of reclaimed materials. When this when these racks are done, you'll have no idea that the metal that was used in this came from other sources. It'll look, just like off the floor. So, like I said earlier, there were 15 racks for this first run with Ride Solutions. And 15 racks is not enough to take the time to make a jig, an alignment jig to weld everything up. It only takes about 90 seconds, 2 minutes to just align it up with basically this jig made out of clamps and speed squares and framing squares. That the feet be parallel to one another, and that this angle be 90 degrees from the vertical. So you can see here that I'm simply using a speed square to determine the foot is in fact 90 degrees from the vertical. You can maybe see it a little better on this side. If I get in there, you can see that that is like that. And to determine parallel, I'm simply using 2 framing squares between the 2 feet. I've also made very small notches there to line the feet and get everything centered so that the distance from the center of this is the same to the outside of each foot. So, at this point, the fixture is ready to be tacked and then double checked before doing a final weld. I'm going to weld the feet on this. Just like I welded the feet on this one. And what I've done, of course, is align everything with my temporary jig. What I'm going to do is just tack the leg, each leg, in 3 spots to fix the foot to the bike rack. And then I'm going to pull out my framing squares and speed squares again and double check, make sure that everything's So after the feet are put on the racks, there has to be a means of holding the Ride Solutions sign. It's made up, and it lets everybody know that these racks are provided by Ride Solutions. This gets centered in here, and it's riveted on. So if you ever want to change the branding or change the logo, or it just gets vandalized, it's pretty easy to simply, these signs are about $15, pretty inexpensive. And this is a substantial, huge improvement over the previous way Ride Solutions had done this. Before I came along, what they were doing was just buying those standard U-shaped racks, and then they were mounting a separate 4x4 and putting a post on it, and the sign was separate from the rack. But I redesigned it so that the sign was incorporated into the rack, making installation easier, but also reducing material costs and just simplifying everything. So what I'm going to do is finish tacking this angle iron onto the rack. And that's that. Okay, we're back. Well, it's just me, I'm back. The racks are ready for primer and paint. So what I've done is put this burnished finish on here and prep the metal, and I'll give it a wipe down with a tack cloth and a degreaser and a tack cloth, and I'll take these over to the paint booth and spray them. I unfortunately can't film that because I have nothing to protect my camera in the paint booth from overspray. The paint booth is pretty well, I mean, it's the paint booth, so I mean, obviously it pulls out some of the overspray, but it don't get my camera all dirty. So I can't film any of the painting, but I'll get a shot of the finished racks. Okay, well, that is the completed rack, all painted and pretty and sign installed. The rack takes about 2.5 hours to build from start to finish, which is amazing considering how simple it looks. And I wanted the design to be very simple and very elegant, very different than other bike racks. But I was commissioned to do 15 of these things, and I divided it up, doing 3 basically a day, so it took 5 days. A little more. It was just over 45 work hours total for all the racks, which is hard to believe. You know, it just doesn't look like that much work, but it is. It's kind of cool. But it sort of is hidden, the design, the coolness of the design is kind of hidden. Usually you see these U-shaped racks and they just have 2 feet in the bottom and nothing, no signage or anything. This rack stands out a little bit. It's just as strong as the larger gauge steel racks. And I think it's kind of neat to put 2 90s in here instead of 1 U. It took a little bit more work, but I think it has a nice, simple, elegant look to it. It's a little bit different than the standout because it's supposed to stand out so that people see the Ride Solution sign, and it has to also be functional. You can comfortably put 2 bikes on this, but really you could hook up to 4 bikes on this thing. Kind of nice. So I'm gonna get this guy with the rest and make a delivery, and now it's up to Ride Solutions to find homes for them in the community.